this. All right. Awesome. So I'm here with Robbie Paris of
Hello.
Bozos and Jazzmin Jade Riddell of Lagrimas.
Hi.
And this is our interview on the Black and Brown Fest that is in the works as of around June, correct?
July.
Yes.
Gotcha.
July.
Yeah.
July 16th, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
July.
All right. And I guess the first question I should ask is, Jazzmin, what experiences besides what experiences and or festivals have helped you to shape sort of this new festival that you have in the works right now with Robbie?
So what are you doing? Come here, let's just empty it out. All right. Sorry, he's going through his Valentine's Day stuff. So whenever I first moved to Chicago, I went, like, my first show there ever was like a Black and Brown Fest. They're like the original Black and Brown Fest is the one in Chicago. And I met a lot of friends up there, and like I'm still friends with one of the organizers who weirdly lives in Houston now. So yeah, I mean, like that, and like I've played a number of Black and Brown Fests with my old band, and yeah, I mean, it's just, and I've organized Black and Brown Fest like in San Antonio with Chingonas in the Pit, like I think like 2 or 3 of them. So it's just kind of something where, like, I don't know, I see that finally Houston's starting to diversify a little bit more, and there's actually bands and there's people who look like us, you know? And I just feel like it's really important to show what we have now, so people can stop thinking we're like all like hick. You know what I mean?
And does the organizer that formerly lived in Chicago prefer not to be named, or would you name drop?
Oh, it's Dante. His name on, I don't know what his real, I think that's his real name. But his name is Dante Oxen.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like the sweetest person in the world. Like, I love him to death. Whenever I was going through it in deep poverty, he like bought like meal kits for me and stuff. So like that was like one of the only ways I was like able to buy diapers and stuff for Gio. And like, he's just a solid human. Like, he's the best. He's just a good person. And he also like DJs and stuff too. He works for Legacy, the one in Montrose, the clinic. Yeah. And he's just awesome. Yeah. And he lives here. And the other person who organized the original one was my friend Monica Estrella, and she's like a horror director. So she makes like scary movies based off of like psychological thrillers, but from like the perspective of like a Black woman. So it's really cool. Like, both of those people are solid people. They're awesome.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm glad we got to get a couple of those names in there, because that definitely, I guess it, like I said, it all links back to, not like I said, but like you said, it all links back to representation in a way, And Robbie, how did you end up getting roped into all this, really?
I think we were just talking about it, and I said I would help, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of Bozo's elements of it, especially I would say at times Dan, whenever they're singing this, and you as well have socially conscious and perhaps race undertones. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. Like, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please continue.
I don't know. I just feel comfortable with saying how I feel, and so is Dan. So this is what we're just doing at Bozos.
And how did y'all come about? Did y'all ever have that conversation as the two POCs in the band about racial marginalization?
Sometimes, but we kind of just like stood it in like a mutual way, like just because we were growing up in the same situations as like POC people, I guess, put in the same situations when we were children.
Right. Now, are you both from Alvin, Texas?
No, Dan's actually, I think he went to high school in like Manville, and he lives in Pearland, but I'm from Alvin. I went to high school here. Yeah, I've lived here for like 4 years.
So during the tail end of, or like during the last 2 years, or maybe the last year of high school, you had been there?
Yeah.
And as far as diversity goes in Alvin, what is the representation there, or is it mostly Caucasian?
There's a lot of like Hispanic homies, but like there's a big majority of like white people, like rich white people, rich country white people, like it's just every breed of white person.
Now, Jazzmin, I had heard that you'd went over to Alvin, Texas at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first perspective going stepping into like the outer limits of like the Houston area? How is Alvin different from other parts of the Houston area?
I mean, I live in the outer like area of Houston, so it just looks like Richmond. It was really weird. It was like, I guess it's like that small town thing where like all downtowns look the same, but like it just looked like Richmond, like. But Robbie, you know I love you, but like I didn't like Alvin.
Alvin sucks.
Alvin does. Like I was like, I don't want to be here, Like there was nothing like initially wrong with it. Like I said, it just looks like Richmond. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's just like Richmond. But like going into it, it was kind of creepy because I was like, wow, this is really country. And like I don't feel comfortable being here. There's nothing wrong with the country, like, but there's something about rural USA I do not mess with because sundown towns and Santa Fe is like a sundown town and it's not that far. Yeah.
It's just like right down the highway.
I don't. Yeah.
So I was talking to it's interesting that you mentioned that I was talking to the homie Quentin, and apparently a lot of his friends they were under the impression that where I live at in Porter, there's a prominent amount of KKK members, which isn't necessarily true. We have Nazis that move crystal meth here, but the KKK is prominent in Alvin or Santa Fe, right?
It's the Galveston area too.
Okay.
Like, all of Galveston Island on the east end of the beach, never go there. Like that's where a bunch of like retired cops live, and a bunch of those retired cops were KKK members. So never go to Jamaica Beach if you are brown.
Gotcha. I don't go to after this last 4th of July, going to Galveston to try and.
Oh yeah, you were so scared.
Whenever I called you because of that.
Yeah. He called me and he was like, Jazz, please stay on the phone with me. I don't feel safe. And I was like, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Because like, you know what it reminded me of? Have any of y'all ever played Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah. Is it like this? Sandy Shores.
Yeah, Sandy Shores, and like everybody looked like Trevor, like arguing with their fucking sleeveless shirts on, like just banging on cars and shit. Like going into liquor stores with their like where they're obviously twacked out. It was gnarly, man. I don't Galveston is not the vibe compared to some parts of Gulf Coast.
Hell no.
I told you, Galveston County is
Hell no.
like, like I went to Dickinson one time to like see an ex-friend, and I was like, I don't like it here. And even though it wasn't like super racist or anything, it was just kind of like, no, no.
Right.
I mean, like even like when I went to go see Robbie, like I went to like a grocery store like right in front of his apartments, and like I got like harassed by the lady working there, like straight harassed, like followed and screamed at, and like I was just like, dog, I'm just trying to get snacks, but okay. Like you want to profile me, you can profile me, that's fine. It was just a little scary because like if someone does that here in Richmond, the population and like there's enough black and brown people here that someone's gonna say something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But out there, I was like I'm the only person here that's like, you know, and I was like, I could die and no one's gonna say anything. Like
that's how I felt going through China, Texas, Orange, Texas. But switching over to you mentioned Richmond. As far as I know that you've lived around the Richmond area and also as far as like around the Rosenberg area, correct?
Yeah, I mean I've moved a lot. But I moved here with my family when I was like 16, I think, like 2011.
So and I'm going to ask Robbie the same question, but I'll start with you. What are there any like internalized feelings or maybe like that come out in the pen whenever you write necessarily about being in small towns like that aren't necessarily populated with as much POCs as centralized towns or cities?
Yeah, so like a lot of the music that I've written at least is there's like 2 songs about race, like directly about race. The other songs is just like either like the covers or like 2 of them the other bandmates wrote, 2 of them are covers. White Boy obviously is about race, but didn't write that one. It's Bikini Kill. But the other ones are just like abuse and like emotions and stuff, the feels. But the 2 songs that I did write about race, I mean, yeah, honestly, the Farce of July definitely was the one that like kind of came out of just living here because so the neighborhood I live in is very Republican, like extremely Republican, very white. Like when we moved here, we were like the only like non-white family like in like our whole section of the neighborhood. Basically, like our neighbor is married to like a Mexican lady and that was it. Like, and that's why Mr. Gary is cool. But yeah, no, it's a lot. So like whenever Trump got elected, both times, the first time they had Trump signs up and it was like, oh, whatever, it wasn't that many. But the second time, like after everyone knew how horrible he was and how trash of a human he was, it was like lit up with Trump signs, and like everyone was like Trump is a prophet from God, and like people like donning like Trump merch like everywhere, and it was really like, wow, dudes, like you're gonna sit there and smile in my face, but like you don't want me here, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care how nice you are to me. You're obviously showing me you don't want me here. You're obviously saying like Blue Lives Matter, like stickers and stuff that like mock Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. So, I mean, in the Farce of July, yeah, that song's about George Floyd, because whenever the George Floyd protest happens, they were all like saying like, yeah, you know, those protesters deserve to get shot. Those protesters deserve to get ran over. And it was just like, you know what, like, I was so sick and tired of hearing the pain and the struggle that, like, not only as a person of color, but like as a Black person, like I remember when all of the police brutality stuff was happening, I had, like, not that it doesn't still happen, but when it was super active and nobody was getting incarcerated, nobody was getting fired, you know, like, I would call my dad every day, and I don't even really talk to my dad because we fight a lot, and you know that, but like, I would call him every day and be like, hey, you alive? You know, like, you okay? And like, I would be worried about like my cousins, I'd be worried about my dad, I'd be worried about my uncles, because one of my uncle, like, he died, but he wasn't really there all the way. And like, I was like, wow, what if they shoot him? You know, they could just say he was being violent, even though he's just not really there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that like I had to deal with. And coming from Chicago, where it's like super segregated, I know you were asking about small towns, but it was really weird because I saw a lot of like race tensions there too. And I've seen really horrible things happen to Black people there at the hands of police. It was just a lot. So yeah, I would definitely say living in a small town and seeing how people don't see us as equals or even like human definitely does affect the writing that I do, for sure.
Right. And as far as like the whole emo influence and being able to and like Scram's influence, or just like or the poetry, do you feel that there are certain things like that you feel like when you write, even like, let's say the trauma that you've been through on some of the other songs, that you can feel like only personally a Black femme could really understand?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I mean, the abuse songs maybe not so much, but there's definitely a perspective where, like, I feel like that's why a lot of the times, like, I feel like the people who go hardest for us are like Black women.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, and it means a lot because I'm not trying to cry because I haven't cried in front of Robbie yet, and I ain't trying to do that. But yeah, no, I just don't. Growing up, I didn't see Black people really being vulnerable ever, and especially like Black femmes. It's just one of those things where it's like you're not supposed to be vulnerable because it's weak. Vulnerability is weak, you know?
Mm.
And I think it's really cool that there's Black women who like go so hard for Lagrimas, because I feel like they probably are like, wow, like I can be vulnerable. Like people that look like me, you know, can be vulnerable. People, you know, yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah. And I feel like they understand the songs a lot more than a white guy would, even though they really like us too. And I don't understand why, but whatever.
Yeah, I saw Zach, boy, that Street Punk was jamming to your shit.
There's this guy, and he's like cute. He's like a long-haired, like super ginger, and like he's like a super fan, I guess. And like he bought his shirt last time, and he was like, "I bought a shirt, like even though I'm broke." And I was like, "Then why'd you buy a shirt? Like, don't buy a shirt, go buy food." Like, it's just weird. But yeah, he was like, "You guys are amazing, and I love you guys." And I even posted that thing about like having to wear like knee braces and like compression socks and stuff because I'm starting to like injure myself. And he just was like I was like, "I don't even know you." And he just like messaged me, and he was like, "You could wear a whole suit of armor and you would still be amazing." And I was like, "Thank you."
You know, the fact that, you know, Ish and Donnie are a huge part of y'all's scene, and the fact that like just people of every color are able to realize like, hey, POCs shouldn't be marginalized. You know, we have a favorite type of ice cream. We have a favorite, like, we have shit we like to go do. We have like stuff that we go drink water down at the store also. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, was that the whole inclusion thing? Did that just come organically, or like is that just like you guys ended up attracting just all types of different people?
I think it came organically because our first show from quarantine, we were on a bill with Ish, and me and Doug were like, holy shit, Ish was fucking great, probably one of the best acts that night. And like when we played, we saw Ish get in the pit and everything, and like we like approached him after the show and we were like, dude, like you're sick, and like just introducing ourselves and everything. And I don't know, from there we've just hung out and everything, and like we've printed for him, and just like it's just been a mutual like friendship ever since then. And like he has a like his whole like double A friends, which is Donnie, Cole, Andy, it just doesn't matter, and No Empathy, which is Ish's label with Koniki, and they also have Jay on it. So like I guess all of this racial inclusivity, like it all came together organically because we just all hung out with like people like that.
Y'all bonded over skating too, huh?
Yeah, we like have a lot of things in common from like just like a couple of years ago. I used to be really into skating, and like I bonded with like Donnie and Ish over that, and like it's been pretty nice.
It's really interesting, like how much skating does for as far as like bringing blacks and browns together. I feel like
It really is.
now do you is there any I guess how do I put this? Is there any I already know the answer to this, but I'm asking anyway. Is there plans to get Ish and a couple of different rappers on the bill for Black and Brown Fest?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's
Xavier, hold on. Don't really him if you know I done told you.
I just want to hear, well, because Robbie's the one that kind of like, or that you had ended up having to ask. I was
yeah, Robbie asked you.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
Is Fish Face gonna be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Fish Face, Colt, when they perform, it's fish and chips, and they perform a great like 10-15 minute set of just them, just pure energy running around the stage and just screaming, jumping around. Like they're great. And we also have Ish and Kaneki, and like Ish always puts on a good show, so we're gonna have some good acts.
Wait a second, is it Just Doesn't Matter a part of a label?
Yes.
Holy shit.
They
I didn't put this together until just now, but they made a punk song together, didn't they? That got kind of popular.
I think, but their label Double A is like they Andy is the mastermind behind that. He made it so like all of his friends can release music with like rights and everything. So like it's all a really collective, and it's a beautiful thing.
Is both now? This is probably a question I might know the answer to also, but Bozos is obviously going to perform too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Jazzmin, what are some of the other bands that we can expect over there? That like I know we've talked about it in private, but just for the sake of
let me bust out my phone. I'll give you the list. Gio, what are you doing? Okay. Sorry, he's like throwing his toys around. That's fine. All right. So the people who've said yes, I probably have to remind like half of them. Lunatics, which I mean, I love them. They're so cute.
Lunatics,
great.
Julian's really nice. I think
Yeah.
Julian's in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're sweet kids, and I mean they're super like for that genre, like even like outside of that genre, they're really talented, especially for being in high school. It's insane.
Mm.
They
So
are
Lunatic,
really talented. It's crazy.
yeah. Will to Live, which is like an old school Houston hardcore act. So I thought it would be cool to have that on there.
Why?
Why?
No.
Why?
Now, actually, that's another question, I guess, is what is the whole theme of it is going to be pretty spread out, huh?
Well, yeah, because like this is the thing. It's like I feel like people of color get pegged into like one box. You know what I mean? Like it's like we do this or we do this, or if we make like rock music or whatever, we make a certain type of rock music. You know, like we're like Black people all sound like the Bad Brains, and like all Mexican people sound like Pierce the Veil. Like
Yeah.
and suicidal tendencies, and like it's not like that. So I mean, yeah, like having different groups and having everything spread out just kind of shows that white people aren't the only people who can do everything, you know?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Winter Wolf is playing. They're from New York and they're so good. They're so good. And they're the homies.
That's the ones that are kind of like they have that sort of what's it called, power metal kind of voice, but with the punk rock with hardcore punk.
Yeah.
They sound like Pup.
They do kind of sound, but I mean, like,
Great.
they do kind of sound like Pup. Pup was good live. I just couldn't hear anything. They're super loud live, which is weird. But
Oh, really?
yeah, Pup is really loud, and which I didn't think was gonna happen. I thought they would be as loud as, like, let's say like Mannequin Pussy or AJJ when I saw them, but like they were like just blowing out speakers. But I saw a performance and what was the previous band you just said?
Winter Wolf?
I saw your performance that you sent me of Winter Wolf, and they're freaking insane. They're awesome.
They played Black and Brown Fest San Antonio a few years back.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were so good. And I think Jerome, the singer, he's insane. Like he's like a little jumping bean. Like he's just so cool. And like the way he jumps isn't like yeah, like it's like he like crouches down like
I think she had cut it. I think he had cut out.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's going really.
and they're signed.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah. They're signed to a label now. So
What label?
I don't know. I have to check. Give me a second.
But who else?
The Beautiful Bozos, all the pretty boys, who make the mathiest of math core in Houston. And I mean, yeah, self-explanatory. Bozos is amazing. They're my favorite band. Robbie, you know you're great.
So that we'll get into the that's something I'm gonna keep something in the back of my pocket real quick. But go on.
Okay. Okay. They're signed to Academic Punk Records. I guess it's like a New York record label.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lagrimas, us. We're gonna make everyone cry. Panther Revival. That's Kennedy Rice's band, and you're friends with Kennedy. They're amazing, and they're very like out there too. That their delivery isn't as harsh. Like you listen.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like older, like, I mean, it's weird because it reminded me of like Japanther or like Yaphet a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I could totally see that, especially Japan.
Yeah, it's really emo, but very strange. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Kennedy online is hilarious. I'm sure he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he seems very, very, very sweet. And they're gonna be awesome. And the Centaurettes are playing, and they're amazing. Like they've been featured in like magazines, like big magazines, and they're. I mean, I love their dual vocals because they'll have like my friend Bia singing, and then they'll have like the male vocals, and then they like trade off. Some do different songs and stuff, and their songs just some of their songs don't even sound like they should be like in that band. I think it's super cool.
That's the one who made $10 on Pump 5 or whatever
Yeah.
that's called. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're amazing. And I guess going back to like different genres and stuff like that, like they're definitely like different than the other bands because I feel like they're more indie-ish,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still really good. Still really good. And then their special week, that is from Laramie Joseph, the beautiful bassist of Lagrimas. So she's gonna do a solo set, and it's gonna be like Midwest emo, which I'm excited for because she's amazing. She's perfect. You.
What? Oh, me? Yeah, me doing the solo set.
Yes. Why don't you talk about yourself? Because
I was gonna save that in a
okay, I'll skip you and then we can come back. I'm trying to help you out.
That's such an ugly laugh. Anyway.
You don't have an ugly laugh. Shut up. All right. There's Ish, and then there's Lord Fishface and Colt Cassidy, and that's it. And then there's you.
So
Yeah.
So Ish, Colt, and Fishface are all going to have different sets, right?
Colt and Fishface, they perform together.
Oh, like a duo, like Method Man and Redman kind of shit?
Yeah, they're called Fish and Chips.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
Explained that earlier. He just said that.
I didn't know they were called Fish and Chips. I must have overheard that.
I was surprised you didn't laugh at it. You love all that stuff.
That's really funny.
Yo, come here.
It is great.
That's kind of funny. At the last Floral District show, my friend Robbie, or not Robbie, what the fuck, Rocky, fucking showed up at over there, and I was unbuttoning my what's it called? I love jokes like that because I was unbuttoning my shirt and somebody was like, hell yeah, take it off. And I was like, you're gonna have to subscribe to my OnlyFans. And then Rocky tried fucking throwing an indoor fan at me, and Corey stopped and he was like, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, it's OnlyFans.
What?
Yeah. So me and Rocky are gonna make a noise band called OnlyFans, where we just bring a bunch of fans on stage and turn them on and leave.
You have to put them through like you have to put I don't know what they're called. You okay? You know when you put a contact mic. You have to put a contact mic on the fan and then run it through a distortion pedal.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Hey, my phone is about to die.
Okay.
So, do you guys want to like do this later or like just cut it right now? Because I'm down to do another one later.
Let's do another one later. We'll talk about the last question that I have, and that is about like the fact that we all of our bands have like an emo influence in it. And
Okay. That's gonna be fun. I'll be free after 5 tomorrow.
Let me see what I can do. It might be later on in the like around this time, or maybe like 8. But yeah, just let us know, dude.
But if not, there's also Thursday. I'm off on Thursday, so anytime Thursday I'm down.
Awesome. All right, man. Well,
yes.
Thursday's a little weird for me. But I can try to do tomorrow. I mean, because Gio has therapy at 5. Wait, what's this? Yeah, Gio has therapy at 5, and then when Gio gets out of school, my whole day is dedicated to him. So he usually he's supposed to be in bed like right now. So I mean, if it's like around this time, that's fine. But like at 5, I can't do it. And like from like he eats all day. Like he's a lot of work.
Yeah. I'm free anytime after 5 tomorrow. So
Tomorrow.
We'll
Okay,
figure it
so
out.
we'll
The
do,
last
like-
the last part of it's only going to take like 15 minutes, really.
Is there any way you can just do it like in a couple minutes, like so your phone can charge?
yeah.
Okay, that works perfect. So I can put him to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So, what do you think of my of my interviewing skills?
You did such a good job.
Think so?
I think so.